People have been afraid of them for ages, and while we won't be swimming with them side by side as buddies anytime soon, there have been a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to these majestic creatures. So in this video, we'll show you 15 facts about sharks, or we'll feed CC to them.
Wait, aren't the chances of that one in 3.5 million?
Yes, for humans. Earth fairies, though, are a whole other matter.
Hi, Shark here. We don't actually eat earth fairies. They'd get stuck in our teeth. And imagine all that fairy dust too. We're just playing along with this bit.
Save me!
Back in the age of the dinosaurs, sharks already existed. There are species of sharks that date back to 450 million years. Yeah, that's right, there are shark species that are older than dinosaurs. What's even more amazing is that there's a prehistoric shark that's still alive to this day. The blunt-nosed six-gill shark had already existed back in the Jurassic era. It can grow as big as a great white shark, but are rarely spotted because they live in deep waters. This is a human bone, and it's a replica. I didn't take it from any grave or anything.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because my assistant hasn't gone on the grave. I'm very sure I didn't take this bone from anywhere sus.
Give the people a shark fact already!
Well, sharks don't really have bones. Not bones like ours, at least.
Excuse me. I am made of pure starlight.
Really? Don't think that was starlight they keep having to vacuum from the carpet. It looked more like fur. As I was saying, sharks don't have bones. They do have a skeletal system, but it's made up of cartilage. You know, just like your ears and your nose. Having cartilage as their skeleton makes them more buoyant. This means that it's easier for them to swim in water. Sharks have gotten a bad rep for eating people.
Yes, it's so unfair.
Well, what would be something that you'd rather people know about you?
Well, we have Electro Reception.
Huh, what's that?
Well, it's being able to detect electrical currents.
Won't that just be useful for electric eels?
Well, any type of muscular movement generates a small amount of electricity. Now, because sharks live in the ocean, it's a pretty good conductor of electricity. So on the snout of the shark, they have open pores that can detect this electricity. This makes the tiny hair-like cells called cilia react. You can think of it like how our ears process sound. But with sharks, it's electricity instead of sound. When people think of a shark's diet, they would assume that all sharks just eat other humans, larger fish, and dolphins. And while humans aren't part of a shark's normal diet, sharks do eat the other two. But did you know that there are some sharks that eat plankton?
Hooray!
Just like these three: the whale shark, the basking shark, and the megamouth shark. The whale shark, just like their name, feed on plankton the same way that whales do. They swim slowly and open their mouths. Basking shark capture them on their gills as they swim 3.7 kilometers per hour. Then you have the megamouth shark. Not a lot is known about this shark, but it has a low flow filter, so this could mean that they swim more slowly with their mouths open to get food. Their mouths also glow to attract prey. Which brings us to the whale shark. It is the largest fish in the world. It can grow more than 40 feet in length. They can commonly be found swimming in India, Maldives, South Africa, Mexico, and Southeast Asia. So the blue whale is the biggest mammal, and the whale shark is the biggest fish. It's also very gentle that snorkelers swim alongside it.
Oh, just like Mina.
What are you implying?
I mean that they're majestic, loving, gentle, and would never squish a fairy.
How are baby sharks brought into the world?
I say the mommy shark lays eggs.
I think they should consider their options based on what's covered by their insurance.
There are sharks that lay eggs, and there are sharks that give birth to live young. Laying eggs is called oviparity, and giving birth to live young is called viviparity. Their babies are called pups. No, not those pups, these pups. There are actually fewer sharks that lay eggs. Most of them actually give birth to their young live. Some examples of sharks that lay eggs are the cat sharks and horn sharks.
Wait, cats having pups?
And sharks that give live birth are bull sharks and lemon sharks.
Bulls and lemons also having pups. What is the world coming to?
Oh, that reminds me. Sharks can go into a state of tonic immobility when turned upside down. What's tonic immobility, you may ask? It's a phenomenon in some animals that makes them go into a trance-like state. Researchers do this to allow them to study the sharks without being bitten or in order to put a tag on them for research. Now, For some shark species that may be too big to be turned upside down, a better way of putting them into tonic immobility is by rubbing the pores on their snout. It's called the ampullae of Lorenzini. It puts sharks in a very, very relaxed state. So it's much more than just paralysis. And these are the same pores that give sharks electroception.
What did you do that for?
Well, you wouldn't stop screaming.
If you've seen videos of sharks swimming, you'll notice how swiftly they move through the water. One of the factors that makes them hydrodynamic are their denticles.
What? Sharks' teeth are fake?
Denticles, not dentures.
Well, what are denticles?
Denticles are small tooth-like scales on the shark. These scales are arranged on the body of the shark similar to how roofing tiles look like. Because of how it's arranged, it makes a shark move more swiftly in water. People study these denticles and apply the hydrodynamics to make faster-moving cars, aircrafts, and even swimwear.
Whoosh!
We've established that sharks are hydrodynamic, but which shark species actually swims the fastest?
Coming through!
That would be the short-fin macro shark. These sharks can be found in tropical and warm waters. They can swim with speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour and burst speeds of up to 74 kilometers per hour. The fastest recorded human run speed is only up to 35 kilometers per hour. So at burst speeds, the macro shark swims more than twice as fast as any person could run.
Whoosh! 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 Whoosh!
On the flip side, the Greenland shark swims only at a speed of 1.22 kilometers per hour, and its fastest speed at 2.6 kilometers per hour. Not everybody needs to be in a rush. Essentially, it only swims as fast as a kid runs, maybe slower. Most sharks live in the seas and oceans, essentially saltwater creatures. But did you know that there are sharks that actually live in freshwater? Most sharks won't actually survive in freshwater. This is because just like other saltwater fish, the water in their bodies is salt water. So if you put them in freshwater, the salt water in their bodies kind of go out. But there are some shark breeds that not only survive in freshwater, but they actually live in it. So which sharks can actually survive in freshwater, you may ask? Well, there's the spear-toothed shark, that's native to West Papua, Papua New Guinea, and northern Australia. Then the Ganga shark found in Ganga, Hooghly, Mahanadi, and Brahmaputra rivers in India. You also have the bull shark, which can be found worldwide. And there's also the Borneo river shark, and as the name suggests, in Malaysian Borneo.
Ouch! I got a cut!
That's nothing a little magic can't fix. Episki!
Did you know that sharks have really fast healing abilities? It's been found that sharks have more genes that are dedicated to blood clotting. This explains why sharks are able to recover from wounds much quicker than we could. It's also the reason why it's hard to find sharks that are sick in the wild. By comparison, an injury that would take a human months or even years to heal only takes a shark as little as 35 days. Most creatures have a mom and dad, but did you know that sharks are able to have babies with just one parent? In a phenomenon that's called parthenogenesis, some shark breeds have an offspring without a mate. In humans, an egg cell gets fertilized to produce babies, but for plants and animals capable of parthenogenesis, the egg cell doesn't need to get fertilized to begin splitting up and form a baby. This is why parthenogenesis is also called the virgin birth. Many shark species, like the great white shark, will migrate long distances. The great white shark, for example, migrates as far as 4,000 kilometers each year. Sharks migrate for a variety of reasons, and this can be to give birth, find new feeding grounds, changes in seasonal temperature, or to find a mate. I mean, all sharks know that Shark Tinder isn't the best way to find a mate. You really gotta go meet them in person. Cookie cutter sharks may sound cute, but these small sharks take on much larger predators. Cookie cutter sharks only grow to about 20 inches, but they prey on much larger marine animals. They of course eat smaller animals like squid, but they're not afraid to take bites from larger animals like seals, whales, dolphins, or even great white sharks. They're called cookie cutter sharks because when they take a bite out of their prey, it leaves a circular wound around the size of a cookie. No fancy cookie shapes here, but the wound is large enough and deep enough to leave quite a mark on its victims. When you look at a hammerhead shark, it seems like evolution did them wrong. Their heads must make it hard for them to swim. But actually, their heads make them hydrodynamic for what they hunt. When you think of hydrodynamic creatures, you're probably thinking of creatures like dolphins or other shark breeds that have a conventional shape. This is because these creatures have evolved to move forward faster so that they can chase their prey. With hammerhead sharks, you have to think of their cephalofoils as aircraft wings. They're more streamlined to help them maneuver up and down. This is because they prey mostly on crabs and stingrays, which generally are on the ocean floor. And that was our video for today. Did we get to 15 facts?
Yes, we did. I counted.
I didn't. Feed them to the sharks.
No!
And that's where we'll end today's video. Until next time, fellow mages.